Hi, my name is Kim Morrow. I serve as Climate Change Resource Specialist at the School of Natural Resources at the University of Nebraska, and I'm here today to talk about the implications of climate change to Nebraska. What I'm going to share is based on a report that was published by the University of Nebraska in the fall of 2014. The report is called Understanding and Assessing Climate Change, Implications for Nebraska, and it can be found online at go.unl.edu/climatechange. First, I'd like to share a little bit about what changes we've seen in Nebraska already because of climate change. First of all, we've seen a minor increase in annual mean temperature, about 1 degree since the 1970s, 1 degree Fahrenheit of warming since the 1970s. We are seeing warmer winters, especially warmer nighttime temperatures. We are seeing a longer growing season. The growing season has lengthened by an average of 2 weeks in the last 20 years. We're also seeing more intense rainfall events, especially in eastern Nebraska, and that's a trend that's expected to continue. The incidence of extreme rainfall events has actually increased 16% in the Great Plains region over the last 20 years. We have seen a slight increase or decrease in annual precipitation levels depending on the location in Nebraska. And now looking forward at the things that we are expected to see in the future. Climate projections vary somewhat, not because of inaccuracy of the models, but because we don't know how many greenhouse gases will continue to persist and continue to be emitted into the atmosphere between now and the end of the century. And so under a low emission scenario, which would assume drastic cuts to greenhouse gas emissions, we are predicting an increase of 4 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. That's a low emission scenario. On the other hand, if we continue emitting greenhouse gases as we are now, a business as usual scenario will lead to temperature increases of 8 to 9 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. So both of those figures are significant, and some would say extreme, that have a range of ramifications for our livestock and agricultural production here in the state. Another concern for us here in Nebraska is the amount of high temperature stress days. Those are days over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Currently, we have about 7 or so degrees over 100 degrees per day. 7 or so days over 100 degrees per summer. In a low emission scenario, we are likely to see 13 to 16 days over 100 degrees. And in a high emission scenario, we will see 20 to 25 days over 100 degrees per year. We will also continue to see an increase in the number of warm nights in summer and winter. And our frost-free season will continue to increase by an additional 2 weeks by the end of the century. All of these changes have important implications for Nebraska agriculture. Some of the key questions for us to consider include, can we manage our decreasing water resources effectively? We are projected to have decreasing water availability in the Platte River watershed. That's because the snowpack in the Rocky Mountains is expected to decrease. And most of the water we get in Nebraska comes from that snowpack in the Rocky Mountains. So as those levels decrease, we expect to have less water to work with, surface water and groundwater. The next question is, can we improve soil health and soil water retention? Soil health ends up being key to agricultural productivity, water retention, and all kinds of other health factors for our ecosystems. Of course, can we protect livestock from high temperature stress days? It's a very important concern. How will crops respond to extreme heat and extreme rainfall? How will climate change affect cropping systems and yields? How will we manage increasing invasive species that we're already seeing here in our state? And of course, how will all of these changes affect the agricultural economy in Nebraska? I hope that you all will take a look at the report that we have at go.unl.edu and contact us if you have any more questions. Thank you.